I am Will Hesketh, and this is Functional Yoga. As always, make some space to practice, make time to practice so that you can be present in the moment, which means removing distractions so that you can just be focused on yourself, on what you're doing. Be as playful as you can. Don't take it too seriously. Be as grateful as you can be towards yourself, for yourself, and be as compassionate as you can be towards yourself as well. Just remember, if you're breathing, you're amazing because you have a life, and that is incredible in itself. So it doesn't matter how you're feeling in your mind, doesn't matter what you think of yourself, you are amazing because you are alive and you're breathing. This week we're going to be focusing on the arms. As always, it's not just the arms, it's the whole body in relation to the arms, because it has to be, because we are a whole body. We're going to get nice and warm into the shoulders. We're going to do the same warm-up for both of these two sessions this week because it's a really helpful warm-up for the shoulders, and the more you can get into doing this, the better. It feels great. As you inhale, just gently shrug the shoulders up, and as you exhale, just gently relax them down. Really nice and simple to start with. Inhale, shrug them up. Exhale, relax them down. Let's do two more. And one more. Now let's try swinging the arms gently forwards and backwards. And just let it happen, see how it feels. Nice and mellow, nice and relaxed. Whenever you're ready, we're going to try one forwards, one backwards. See how that feels. So gently, one forward, one back. Let that little bit of swing happen and just feel your way through that action. And then we're going to do some internal, external rotation. So let those arms come back to still, and then rotate the palms outwards, rotate all the way inwards. So it's not just the palms that, the palms feels like the natural way to describe it, but really they're facing outwards there as well, and my shoulders internally rotated. So think about what the shoulder's doing, rotating outwards with the shoulder all the way down to the wrist and the hand. So really feeling your way into that internal and external rotation. And just remembering that you've got movement here at the glenohumeral joint, so where the upper arm meets the shoulder joint. We've got rotation there with the rotated cuff, and that's the smaller sort of movement. And then we've got the bigger movement that comes from the shoulder blade as well. So just experiment with the two. There's no right or wrong in terms of how you should move your arm, but if you're doing small movements with your shoulder blade, then maybe there's a bit of restriction in this detailed section of the shoulder. So really just see if you could hold your shoulder blade still and just move using the rotator cuff area. See how that feels. And then see if you could do one out and one in. One to the other. So gliding through, you might start to turn towards the hand as you go, looking at that palm that's facing up. Feeling your way into that. This is multi-purpose because you can be the coolest person in the club when you go and rock these moves. Maybe not. Maybe just keep it to the privacy of your own home. Okay, and relax when you're ready. A little bit of a shake out again. And then we're going to just look a little bit more specifically at this front and back movement. So just want to do it like a running action. So as we take the arm backwards when we run, ideally the palm starts to turn backwards. We get that little bit of backwards push. So one arm would come forwards, palm would just be facing towards the center line of the body, and then we change. So just feeling your way through as you gently push that palm backwards. Keep the shoulders as broad as possible across the top, across the front, and across the back of the shoulders. So really nice and wide, tall through the spine, feeling your abdominal muscles engaged to create this rotation. And then now we're going to take it at that stage further and take it to a bit of a sort of throwing arm. So we still come back a little bit, so we come back in the same way, but once we get to a certain point, we gradually start to turn the palm up as we come back, and then we come back round. So turning the palm up as you come back, starting to bring that kind of as though you're about to go into a throw. So just gently turn it and bring it around. If you want to go into that throw, you can go into that throw, but make sure your shoulder feels nice and comfortable. Don't force it, and try not to elbow the wall as I'm doing here. Take it nice and steady. So just gently taking that arm back, rotating out, bringing it up and bringing it over. Or just doing the rotate out and back. Really nice. Fantastic. So regardless of what's happening as you're doing that, you're still getting good nourishing movement into the shoulder, so don't worry too much about the details on that. It'll start to come hopefully as you do it more often and you start to feel what's going on. Bring yourself down to all fours whenever you're ready. So knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders roughly. Spread the fingers nice and wide, grip the floor a little bit with the fingers, start to get active. And if your wrists ache at any point, you can always come down onto your elbows or just take a break, have a little shake out of the hands. We're going to start with a nice subtle gentle movement of the spine. So as you inhale, just very gently allow the lower back to arch, and then see if you can carry that on into the upper back. So lift the chest up and forwards, but keep the back of the neck long. So just be aware that the temptation is just to look forwards with the head. Try and keep the back of the neck nice and long. Think you're shortening the upper back and the lower back, and then from there tuck the pelvis, so abdominal muscles involved, feel that lower back flatten off, gradually moving up through the spine to the upper back as the head comes down. So as you inhale, gently arch that lower back, gradually lift the chest up and forwards, keep the back of the neck long. Exhale, tuck the pelvis up, gradually work your way up the spine, gradually let the chin come down towards the chest. One more. And whenever you're ready, just a little bit of side to side. So imagine shifting your ribs to one side and then shifting your ribs to the other. The bottom rib, imagine shifting it to one side, shifting it to the other. See if you could keep a bit of a grip of the abdominal muscles so the back stays fairly flat as you're doing this. And then maybe see if you can start to add it all together and start to circle the rib cage around, circle the hips, circle the shoulders, feeling your way into that. Just change direction as and when you want to. So I like to generally do one way, one the other way, or a couple one way, a couple the other way. Just see how it feels for you. Just gliding round and through. Try shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears whenever you're ready, and then release them away from the ears. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, release them away, and then see if you could lift away from the floor. So push the hands into the floor, broad across the shoulder blades, and then lower towards the floor without bending the elbows. So lift and lower, keeping the arms straight. Don't bend those arms. Use that scapula, use that shoulder movement. So your shoulder blades go wide and then narrow. Your collarbones moving on the front of the body. Then see if you could add that all together. So you've got the shrug up and the relax down, and then you've got the lift and lower. So it starts to become kind of like a circle. Keep a bit of grip of the abdominal muscles so that you're not losing control there. So the lower back stays fairly flat, the upper back stays fairly flat. Change direction, try it the other way. And gradually walk the hands back towards the knees, bring the weight into the knees. So you can sit back on the heels if it's comfortable for you to do that. You can come to a high kneeling position if you prefer. Give the hands a little bit of a shake out. So clench and release the fists. Turn the palms forwards, gently push the fingertips down, gently push the palms down, gently stretch into the wrists. Nice and steady. Don't force it. Relax whenever you're ready. Now we're going to come back to all fours, but we're going to put the elbows down now. So with the elbows down, shoulder width apart, the wrists shoulder width apart, we're just going to gently glide backwards and forwards. As you go backwards, try not to splay the elbows out to the side. Try not to let the wrists come into the center. That's what tends to want to happen. See if you could keep that alignment. Elbow, wrist, shoulder. And then see if you could keep the abdominal grip. So think about the bottom of your ribs tucking down towards the front of your pelvis. Gently exhaling as you go, inhaling as you come forward. Gradually, you're going to start to work up towards down dog. So tuck the toes behind you, push into the hands, gradually lift the knees off the floor. Pedal through the legs a little, see how it feels. You can always lower the knees if it feels too much. You could try bending both legs together and gradually straightening. Give the toes a good wiggle, check how the feet are feeling. In your own time, we're going to come forwards to a plank position. You can lower the knees if you want to make it easier. Try and remember what we were doing in that cat-cow at the start. So the arch and tuck, this movement here, keeping the spine as flat as possible. So keep a grip of the abdominal muscles, flatten off the upper back as much as you can. Knees can stay down, knees could walk back a little, shoulders stay over the hands, or if you want to make it really tricky, lift the knees off and come to that full plank. From there, we're going to do Chaturanga Dandasana, so keep that spine as flat as you can. Keep those hips extended if you can, so you're not sagging down. You've got that strong tuck of the abs, but you are extending front of the hips. And then in your own time, gradually lowering towards the floor, just hovering off the floor a little and pushing your way slowly back to down dog. So Chaturanga Dandasana. Lots of arm strength involved in this. Spreading those fingers nice and wide, gripping that floor with the fingertips. Bring yourself forwards again. Remember, you can lower the knees, don't need to have them lifted. Gradually lower down and push your way back up. Feeling your way through, down dog. Back forwards, lower your way down and push your way back up. We're going to add one more move into this. It's similar to the one we did with the knees down, but it's with the knees lifted. So we come forwards to the plank, we lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana, and then from there, we push back and allow the elbows to come down to the floor. So you can lower the knees to do that. Don't feel like you need to do it with the knees lifted. It's much better to do it like that. If you're struggling and sort of going from one elbow to the other or whatever, if you feel like you can always just do it in one smooth movement, but don't force it. Take it nice and steady. So that's your dolphin position. Knees can be bent. Don't need to be straight in the legs. You could work up towards that. Try and keep those elbows in at shoulder width. Try and keep those wrists in at shoulder width. And then whenever you're ready, push back to down dog. Bring it forwards to plank. Lower it down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Push it back. Lower the elbows. Dolphin position. Gradually bring it back to down dog. Remember, lower the knees at any point. So with the knees lowered, it's bring it forwards, plank position, lower it down, Chaturanga Dandasana, push back, elbows come down, dolphin position with the knees down, and down dog with the knees down if you want to as well. Run through one more. Rest the knees down when you're ready and just relax for a moment in child's pose. From child's pose, gradually bring your way forwards onto your belly.
I'm just going to do a little bit of cobra just to flatten out the upper back. So think about gripping your abdominal muscles, pulling your belly up off the floor a little. Rib cage stays down at the bottom, but then at the top you lift the rib cage up and forwards. Broad across the shoulders, spread the fingers wide, push the forearms into the floor, and just see if you could maybe squeeze the forearms towards each other a little without moving them. So then like see how it feels on your shoulder. So you get that sort of width encouraged across the shoulder as you squeeze the arms in, you pull the shoulders out. Tuck the abdominal muscles, remember lift the ribs up and forwards. Remember we're trying to flatten out this upper back, extend this chest up and forwards. Back of the neck nice and long, so it's not a look forwards. Take a few more nice big breaths. One more. Really nice, and gradually and slowly push your way back to your down dog position. From down dog, we're just going to gradually and gently step the right leg forwards, keep the knee, ankle, hip alignment, walk the hands back, and bring your way back up to standing. Remember your knee, ankle, hip alignment, keep that. Sit the bum down and back, bend the knee, pull the back leg forwards, front leg backwards, reach the arms up and forwards as you do that. Inhale, come back down. So it's a swing of the arms forwards and back like we were doing in standing, but really just trying to stay central as you can in the mat. Gliding your way through, exhaling strongly. Either each time or every other time that you reach the arms up and forward. It doesn't have to be every time. You could be going slower, but you're not going to get as much swing into the arms. Really nice. We're going to change legs. So we're going to do that little vinyasa-y, sequency type thing that we've been working on. So from your down dog, you bring your way forwards to plank, lowering down chaturanga dandasana, broad across the shoulders, long in the spine. Knees can come down if they need to. From there, push your way back, lower the elbows, dolphin position. Strong in those arms, broad across those shoulders. From there, gradually and gently lift the elbows back up to your down dog position. Slide the left leg forwards, walk the hands back, pull your way back up. When you come back up to the top, it's that same thing. Back leg pulling forwards, front leg pulling backwards, nice and aligned, and exhales as you go. Big exhales, try and stay as central as you can. Great thing to do is check this in the mirror, so head on in the mirror. Are you keeping the arms in line with the shoulders? Are you keeping the legs in line with the hips? Right the way down to the toes. Really working on refining the position. And two more. And gradually bring your way back down. Hands come down, step the leg back, push back to down dog, pedal through. Now we go through that sequence again if you want to. Bring yourself forwards, lower the knees if you want to. Lower yourself down, chaturanga dandasana. Push your way back, lower those elbows down. Dolphin position. Bend the knees a little, straighten the legs a little. Feel your way into it. Don't force the legs straight. And then gently lift the elbows. And then we step the right leg forwards. Bringing it back up. Lunge on that right side. Now we keep the right leg exactly where it is, and we gently turn the left hip away without letting that right knee drop inwards. So then we're in this warrior two leg position. Just glide the knee over the foot a few times, just gently give the toes a bit of a wiggle, get everything working right into the feet. Step as deep as feels comfortable. Make sure you don't feel like you're hanging down on the tendons up at the joint now. So nice and supported, able to push up out of the position. Tuck the abdominal muscles gently to get that pelvis neutral. Reach the arms out wide, nice and low to start with. Turn the front palm upwards, natural curve in the fingers. Same with the back hand, look towards the front hand. Take a big inhale, wide across the shoulders, and as you exhale, gently rotate the arms as you rotate the head, and you're looking at the back hand. Big inhale and exhale, repeat it. So make sure you don't go dead into the legs. I was just starting to get a little bit of a feeling into my back hip there because I got a bit lazy on the back leg. So try and think you're pushing up out of the legs, getting that support right into the joints, keeping that core engaged, and gently working through the arms. Again, it's that killer dance move.
Just gently working through, flowing through it. So it's kind of like the swingy stuff. It's gentle. You can go as expressive as you want to, you know, go a bit deeper into the movement if you want to, get a bit weird, freak out, whatever works. Enjoy it. Okay, then from there we're going to gently bring ourselves back round to down dog. You can do that in this sort of windmill way, so you just bring the arm round, lift the back heel, step the foot back, push back to down dog, pedal through gently. Remember, you can lower the knees if you want to. If not, bringing your weight forwards to your plank position, lowering your way down, Chaturanga Dandasana. From there, pushing back towards that dolphin position. Big breath in there, and then exhale, lifting those elbows. When you're ready, left leg comes forwards, bring your way back up. Change sides. So, back leg pulling forwards a little bit, front leg pulling backwards, get that control. The left knee stays exactly where it is and turn the hips out. So again, you're still pulling this back leg in a bit using this adductor, getting that support into the legs, tucking the pelvis, taking the arms out wide. Turning the front palm up, back palm down. Big inhale, exhale, take it to the other side. Just gently gliding through. I would suggest inhaling to set your position, get wide across the shoulders, make sure the legs and feet are still working, and exhaling to change. So you can bend the arms as much as you want to. Remember, you can really just get into it. The key is just to feel space around your shoulder joint, support around your shoulder joint, movement right down to the fingers, the whole body getting involved, getting everything flowing and gliding, and just really trying to free things up, get things moving. You know, these shoulders tend to get rounded forwards in day-to-day life. We're just seeing if we can get some space into the front of them. Okay, whenever you're ready, windmilling your way around to down dog, step that leg back, gently pedal through. Let's go for one more of these vinyasa things. Bring yourself forwards, lowering down, Chaturanga Dandasana. From there, push your way back to that dolphin position, and then from there, bringing it back to down dog. Right leg comes forwards now, working your way back up to a standing position. So we're going to do that same action again. We're going to turn out at the hip. So turning out, so the front leg is externally rotating, but it stays still, so then the pelvis turns out instead. Tuck, keep that control. From here, we reach the arm up into this side angle position. So try and take it from underneath and reach up, as opposed to trying to bring it over the top, because that tends to get a bit crunchy on a lot of shoulders. So bring it in this more natural way, swinging it up. From there, reaching up and back to change. So swing it up and reach up and back to change, and just gently work your way through, gliding through it, feeling your way into it. Really keep those legs working, keep the abs working, make sure there's no discomfort in the lower back or in the back in general, wide across the shoulders. Shouldn't really be any discomfort anywhere. All of the joints supported by the muscles. The only discomfort should be muscle fatigue, and if it is too much, just take a break, because we don't want to lose the form. Just flowing through. Really nice. Whenever you're ready, windmill it round, step the leg back, and then in your own time, that left leg comes forwards, we work our way back up. Same thing, other side, knee stays still, turn the hip away. From that position, abs engaged. From there, bend the knee a couple of times, and then reach that arm up and over the top. Bring it back down and reach up and back. Up and over, up and back. Just gliding through gently. So you bend the knee a bit deeper as you come forwards to the side angle, and then you straighten up a bit as you come back. Doesn't need to be completely straight, doesn't need to be completely bent. Just feel your way through what feels right for you. The key is we're swinging the arms around, getting them moving, getting the spine moving, and connecting it all together, most importantly. Really nice. And whenever you're ready, windmill it round, step it back, down dog. From down dog, all we're going to do is come onto our backs. It's up to you how you get there. You could jump the feet to the hands if you want to, but just try and do it nice and silently and rest down, or just do it in a much less flamboyant way or a much more flamboyant way, but just make sure it's comfortable and it feels all right. Feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart. Okay, we're going to move on to a bridge position. So with the feet hip width, the knees hip width, we're just going to gently push into the feet, peel the bum off the floor, pushing up into that bridge position. We're going to see what we're trying to do here is lift the chest up and then stretch across the fronts of the shoulders a little. So we need to keep strong control of the abdominal muscles so that we don't compress the lower back. We need to extend the front of the hip gently, so we use the glutes to push up. And then we want to lift this chest up and broaden across. Now we bring the arms down by our sides and we just shuffle around. Try and keep the shoulder blades nice and wide, and then just push the hands into the floor. So really push your arms into the floor and just think we're strengthening those muscles on the back of the upper arms, on the back of the shoulders, strengthening those muscles, pushing in there to then move the shoulders back into away from a rounded forward position. You might take the shoulders, the hands a little wider if you want to, or you could take them a little narrower. And if you could reach and interlace the fingers underneath your bum, but try not to pinch the shoulder blades together too much when you do that. Just take it nice and gently. And if you push the little finger side of your hand into the floor, you might well feel that little bit of stretch on the front of the shoulder. Working on keeping the grip of the abdominal muscles, not forcing, keeping that control. Releasing the arms whenever you're ready. Big inhale. And then exhale, just see if you could lower maybe 3 vertebrae of the spine, just gradually working down. Take an inhale there, and then exhale, see if you could lower another 3, just gently working down. Inhale there, exhale, lower a couple more. Inhale there, lower a few more. Just feeling your way down through that spine, decompressing all the way down, and coming to rest whenever you're ready. Now, hopefully the spine is feeling nice and flat and flattened out, decompressed and comfortable. We're going to let the palms face upwards, natural curve in the fingers, and then just very gently start to bend the arms a bit. And as you bend the arms, what you'll probably notice is those upper arms rotate outwards, and then you can get to a certain point and those hands are going to want to lift off the floor if those shoulders are tight. So just see if you can keep the hands resting down, the arms, the forearms, the wrists, everything just resting down on the floor, and straighten the arms until you've got that point. So for me, I can go fairly bent, and I've got quite a little bit of stretch around the shoulder there, trying to keep the shoulders nice and wide across the back of the body as well. So don't pinch the shoulders together. There should be no sensation of sort of lifting up of the chest. Try and keep everything nice and flat, that spine decompressed and flat. See if you can engage your abdominal muscles to tuck the bottom of your rib cage down. So think of it as the world's smallest sit-up. Tiny, tiny little sit-up, and then relax the head down, because you don't need to lift the head. You can just engage the abdominal muscles to tuck the bottom of the ribs down. You can always put the hands on to feel that, but what this is doing is really flattening the upper back out, whilst we've got this little shoulder stretch happening as well. And then we keep what we've got, everything that we've got there, walk the feet to the width of the mat, and then just gently let them go slowly towards one side. Keep control. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, let them go slowly towards the other side. Keep that control. Inhale, back to the center. So we're rotating very gently through the abdominal muscles, through the lower back or through the mid back, and we're keeping that width across the shoulders, keeping everything planted there, keeping that length in the spine. And there's a lot of work on the abdominal muscles as you do this. It certainly is for me anyway, because my tendency is for my ribs to flare up and forwards. So I have to really work on keeping them tucked down. See how it is for you. Feel your way into it. Try and keep that control. Make sure the hands haven't gone dead. Wiggle the fingers regularly. Make sure there's no pins and needles, no deep or sharp pain or anything into the joints. Really gentle stuff. Should feel comfortable and pleasant. Just getting everything gliding. Whenever you're feeling even on both sides, come to rest. If this is feeling good and you want to stick with it, by all means, obviously pause the video, just stick with it, keep going. If you're ready, then just walking the arms down by your sides and resting on your back. Getting nice and comfortable. If you want to straighten those legs out, you can straighten the legs out, rest the legs on something, all the usual stuff. Just try and be as symmetrical as you can. And just rest. When you're settled on your back and you're feeling nice and comfortable, just closing the eyes if you're happy to do so. If it doesn't feel safe to do so, then maybe just have the eyes slightly open. Relaxing the eyelids as much as you can. Softening off around the eyes as much as you can. In between the eyebrows, around the forehead. Around the jaw and the cheeks. Around the neck and the shoulders. Just imagine letting go of any unneeded effort. With each exhale, no need to be completely still if you feel like you need to move or you want to move. Then move. But maybe just pause for a moment before you do. And just really check that you do want to move. Just being with each moment, without judgment, just experiencing it. Tracking each breath, noticing each thought, each sound, each sensation, each smell, all of it without judgment, just observing. Very, very slowly. Just bringing a little bit of movement into the body. So start with the small stuff, fingers, toes, face, wrists, ankles. Stretching out if you want to, rolling about if you want to, just any nice feel-good movements as we start to finish off in your own time. Gradually starting to bring your way back to seated if you want to. Just make sure it's a really nice, comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. Letting the chin come down to the chest. Gradually and slowly opening the eyes if you've not done so already. And gradually and slowly starting to lift the head back up. And we'll finish there. Thanks very much.